We are now live with our own reporter Aris Satya and video journalist Erwin Widyastama. All right, guys. So, what's the Singapore Airlines hiring and recruitment process like now, Aris?
Yes, okay, thank you, Sana. So, after 2 years freeze hiring, Singapore Airlines finally able to resume cabin crew recruitment process, and all cabin crew candidates may apply through its website right now. And Singapore Airlines spokesperson said the recruitment process done to meet manpower requirements. And this is because since the management instituted hiring freeze in response to COVID-19 pandemic in February 2020. And Siap management also took decision to cut the cost and improve efficiency. This is included in the form of offering cabin crew early retirement. And SIA Group also decided to cut position across its 3 airlines, namely Singapore Airlines, Silk Air, and Scoot in September 2020. And with this efficiency, Singapore Airlines Group reduced its ground and cabin crew number into the most efficient manner. And for your information, in September 10, 2020, Singapore Airlines Group announced to cut around 4,300 positions across its 3 airlines as the aviation industry continues to be hit by the impact of COVID-19. Sanas.
Aris, Krizia speaking. How's today's air service demand, especially for the Singapore Airlines business?
Okay, Krizia. So after 2 years striving through pandemic, aviation business start to fly more often today. And of course, demand for aviation services start to rising right now. And in response to the rising demand for air travel, Singapore Airlines has been increasing its capacity in calibrated manner and also adjusting its passenger services. And most of cabin crew and pilot of SIA have returned to active duty right now. And in line with that, the manpower also start to increase, of course, and by management. And through the 2022 required recruitment process, management want to replace cabin crew who have quit the company over the last 2 years. And this will help meet the airline's growth plans. And as I said, that it has kept in touch with those who were impacted by the job cut of 4,300 positions in September 2020. And Singapore Airlines also inviting former cabin crew who are keen to rejoin the company to apply. They will similarly be shortlisted and selected based on merit and suitability for the role. And the airline said that it will continue to make necessary investments in its people and the business in order to ensure is in a position to emerge stronger as international air travel recovers. Krizia.
Wow. All right. Now you're back with Shahnas. Aris, that is very optimistic from Singapore Airlines, as we know that the airlines industry has been heavily impacted by the pandemic. But I want to know more about the country's tourism industry. Can you explain more about this, Aris?
Okay. Sanas, there are encouraging signs of recovery in Singapore tourism sector, and this is according to the Singapore Tourism Board. And it is recorded in 2021. China with 88,000 tourists, India with 54,000 tourists, and Indonesia with 33,000 tourists were the top source markets for international visitors to Singapore. And for this 2 months of early 2022, the tourism situation recovered, even though with a slow development. And mainly, the most tourists still come from China, India, and Indonesia still. But Singapore previously closed its borders in March 2020 in a bid to stem the spread of COVID-19. And to make sure situation remains under control, Singapore plan to continue to limit the number of people who can enter the country through its quarantine-free vaccinated travel lane arrangement. However, some restrictions are easing now. Those who entered the country from January 24, 2022 via vaccinated travel lane or VTL flights can do unsupervised and self-administered rapid COVID test for 7 days after arrival if they intended to leave their place of residence in Singapore. And this tourism development in Singapore is just a sign for Southeast Asia tourism situation recovery. And It looks like even though with a various level of development, most of aviation industry in Southeast Asia continue to recover, especially for the tourism sector. And this is good time. And let's hope for the best for us. Kezia, Shanas.
Aris, thank you so much for the updates. That was Aris Satya and Erwin Widyastama. So stay safe, guys.